Hi guys, very good morning. Today the next topic we are going to discuss in science and technology of energy sector is green hydrogen. Green hydrogen. Okay, so this is a environmental friendly gas that can be used in transport or industry. So in this video we will discuss how the companies produce this green hydrogen production and what are the uses and what are the government initiatives in this sector. Like this, all the topics related to green hydrogen we will discuss in this session. Okay, so the green hydrogen refers to hydrogen produced from renewable sources. So this will be produced from renewable sources like wind, okay, such as wind, solar energy through a process called electrolysis. The process used to produce green hydrogen is electrolysis. Okay, green hydrogen is considered as clean, sustainable energy source that can be used in various sectors, including transport, industry. I already told you environment friendly gas. Okay, this is clean and sustainable energy used in transport or industry purposes. And the purpose of the green hydrogen is to mitigate the climate change or pollution, reduce pollution in air. Okay, so with no carbon footprint. So whatever the carbon released into the atmosphere while using the green hydrogen is very low compared to other alternatives fuels like petrol or diesel. So this is more sustainable and clean energy source. Okay, due to its high economic potential and cost effectiveness, it is expected to become a widely adopted energy source in the future. So it has more economic potential and also it is cost effective compared to diesel and petrol. The cost is very low. That's why it has more prospects in the future to be used by more people in the society. Okay. So what is green hydrogen? Hydrogen when produced by electrolysis using renewable energy is known as green hydrogen. So in this picture you can see how the process goes. So it involves splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen. So how green hydrogen or green biohydrogen? Produced by the process of electrolysis. In electrolysis what happened? Water H2O in the presence of electrolysis will be divided into H2 plus O2. So hydrogen will be released like this. But this process emits lot of pollution into the environment. But when green hydrogen used in vehicles or transport or industries, it do not release any pollutants. That is the difference. Means only the process of production releases pollution. But after the product, they got the product. If they use the product in transport or industry, then they won't release pollution. Then they will become environment friendly. Okay. Green hydrogen produced through electrolysis of water using electricity generated from renewable sources. Means wind or solar electricity will be used for the process of electrolysis. Okay, the process splits water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. I told you water molecules will be divided into hydrogen plus oxygen, with the hydrogen being captured and stored to use as a fuel. So here the hydrogen will be used stored in gas form, then it will be converted to liquid form upon usage. Okay, the oxygen is released into the atmosphere. Green hydrogen refers to zero carbon emissions. So while using the green hydrogen, do not release any pollution into the environment, but the process of formation will release some form of pollution. Okay, so it is important for sustainable future across sectors including transportation. The main advantage of green hydrogen is that it is clean renewable fuel. Means it is very clean, renewable, because the bio waste or the wind or solar is renewable. So that can be used to power a variety of applications. It also has potential to play a significant role in decarbonization of energy sector, as it can be used to replace fossil fuels and reduce GHG emissions. Carbon and GHG emissions into the atmosphere will be reduced. Means automatically pollution will reduce in the environment. That's why it is named as clean and sustainable form of energy that is renewable. Renewable. Okay. So it separates hydrogen and oxygen molecules from water through the process of electrolysis. The electrolysis process will be carried out by a device that is called electrolyzer. So here you can see water, renewable electricity. From renewable electricity, water will be extracted. That water by electrolysis process in a electrolyzer. This device is nothing but electrolyzer. Okay. In this, hydrogen plus oxygen will be divided from water. Okay. This is the process. Why the electrolyzer is very expensive? But because they produce the renewable green hydrogen, that's why they are very costly. The electrolyzer equipment is very costly. That's why people hesitate to keep plants to produce green hydrogen inside India. Okay, the electrolyzer should keep the metals in the molten state to allow free movement of the ions. Moreover, the electrolyzer has to keep the metals inside the device in molten state, means water state. They should not be in solid or gas state to allow free movement of the ions. Then only they can allow the free movement of ions. So this makes them expensive. So to keep the molecules in liquid form always they should not turn into solid or gas. Means the condensation should not happen or freezing should not happen. They must maintain a balanced temperature inside. Then only they can maintain the molten state. That's why it is very costly. Recently, India launched National Hydrogen Mission. Under this mission, India has planned to achieve hydrogen production of 10 million tons per year. So they want to produce 10 million tons per year of hydrogen energy to be used by transport and industry sector. Okay. Also, the mission will target 10% of the global trade. They want to trade in this also. 10% of global trade. Whatever they exporting now, in this 10% value must be of green hydrogen that they are planning. Why green hydrogen is so famous nowadays? It has been in news. Okay, everyone is going to discuss on green hydrogen because it is sustainable and clean fuel. But what is the exactly reason? Means CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and NTPC planning to collaborate to produce green hydrogen. Two companies, IICT plus NTPC. Okay, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology and NTPC planning to collaborate to produce green hydrogen. And also the EU, European Union has been helping in this. Okay, and IREDA Limited also involved for funding. Okay, this is a state-owned entity are exploring partnership to finance green hydrogen projects in India. So these two companies in consultation with European Union and also with the help of IREDA, a public finance company, state-owned entity, they will finance the projects in the green hydrogen inside India. So what is the current scenario of green hydrogen means? India has allocated 200 billion, approx 197.44. This is nothing but 200 billion USD, okay, for renewable hydrogen production. The country has set a target of producing 5 MT per year. So 10 MT per year, that is initial target. Now with 200 billion USD, They want to produce 5 million tons per year. Okay, this is to be achieved by 2030. The target must be achieved by 2030. The major challenges in green hydrogen production is establishing electrolyzer manufacturing. So, why this 200 billion USD used means to manufacture electrolyzers? Because they are very costly. Electrolyzer is very costly because they must keep metals in molten form for long time to produce green hydrogen gas. That's why they are so expensive. So the government is funding to buy these electrolyzers. Okay. This 200 billion USD will be used to buy the electrolyzers to set up the plant. Later the target is to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen per year. Okay, India is planning to bring a scheme to make this process simple. They want to design some schemes also to attract the investors or to create awareness among people to plant green hydrogen plants everywhere in India. Okay. So another major challenge is setting up of a hydrogen plant is time and cost. It takes lot of time and cost to set up a green hydrogen plant. Because it takes a minimum of 3 years. Minimum 3 years it requires to set up the plant. That's why they are thinking. It is expensive, at the same time it is time consuming. That's why the government is hesitating how to implement the plan. According to the S&P report, there are more than 57 renewable hydrogen projects in India now. So till now 57 renewable hydrogen projects have been set up in India. India is set to issue guidelines for green hydrogen subsidies, and they want to attract the people by giving subsidies. They create awareness also first to make people set up green hydrogen plants everywhere in India, and apart from they convince investors, and at the same time they are also giving subsidies. Okay, to tender for electrolyzer manufacturers. Tenders they will give in the project like that. In this picture you can see how the process goes for green hydrogen. Okay, renewable energy sources like wind or solar is used. Okay, in electrolyzer by the process of electrolysis. Then hydrogen will be released into the atmosphere. Hydrogen will be released. So this will be taken as a gas form in cylinders. Okay. When it is used in transport or industry, it gives net zero emissions. Okay. Distribution and storage. You can see here they are producing and storing it as in gas form. Okay. So green biohydrogen production in India. There is also green biohydrogen. So let us see how green hydrogen differs from green biohydrogen. Okay. There is a meeting conducted by Principal Scientific Advisor GOI Professor Ajay Kumar Sood chaired a meeting to discuss biomass cultivation on degraded land for hydrogen production. So in this green hydrogen we are using wind and solar. In green biohydrogen what they will use bio residue, bio waste. Okay, they use to produce the hydrogen. The key difference between biohydrogen and green hydrogen is their sources of production. Biohydrogen derived from biological sources like in last topic also we discussed using cow dung, manure, like these things they produce gas. In the same way green biohydrogen will be produced. That is nothing but green biohydrogen. Okay, a form of renewable hydrogen due to its environment friendly conversion process. So it is one form of renewable energy. Bio waste is a renewable energy because waste will be producing always in the environment by plants and animals and humans. Okay. So till now we have seen green hydrogen is one form of clean and sustainable energy that will be produced from renewable energy sources. So in this also water is converted into green hydrogen plus oxygen. Okay, in this process electrolyzer device is used. This is very costly. That is the present problem with the government, and setting up of a plant also takes 3 years time. That is also an issue. Okay, that's why government is taking measures for public-private participation and to encourage people to set up biogas plants. Government is giving lot of subsidy. Okay, and they target to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen per year by 2030. This much we have studied till now. Now we will go to another topic, that is types of hydrogen. Types of, how many types of hydrogen is there? Okay, the first one is grey hydrogen. This is produced from natural gas through energy intensive processes with high carbon emissions. So the grey hydrogen is produced from natural gas, and this process emits lot of pollution into the environment. Currently most hydrogen produced for industrial consumption is grey hydrogen. So this is mainly used for industrial consumption, for industrial processes. The grey hydrogen is used. Next type of hydrogen is blue hydrogen, sourced from fossil fuels, but byproducts such as carbon monoxide and dioxide are captured, stored, making it better than grey hydrogen. So this is produced from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels gives blue hydrogen, but this process releases carbon monoxide plus carbon dioxide. But this process is better than grey hydrogen, that do not emit so much pollution compared to grey hydrogen. Okay, and next is green hydrogen. Already we know from biomass or biogas, green hydrogen is produced, and also from renewable sources, water is converted into H2 plus. This is main formula you have to remember. H2O gives H2 plus O. So produced using electricity generated from renewable sources such as wind, solar to electrolyze water. So what is the device used in this process? Electrolyzer. It is concerned end to end green fuel with water vapor as only byproduct. Only water vapor will come as byproduct. There is no pollution. There is no pollution in this process. So white hydrogen. The white hydrogen was discovered by two scientists from northeast France. So they discovered a substantial deposit of white hydrogen. It is one of the largest concentration of this clean energy source ever found. So this is one type of clean energy source found by two French scientists. White hydrogen is clean burning energy source from naturally in the earth crust. So it is found from the earth crust, inside the earth, like critical minerals, like minerals we found inside the earth, like coal. Like that, white hydrogen will also be found below the earth crust. Okay, it is natural hydrogen found naturally occurring molecular hydrogen or on the earth. Even on the earth also it can be found. The name white hydrogen distinguishes it from green hydrogen produced from renewable energy sources and from grey. So the white hydrogen differs from green hydrogen and grey hydrogen. Even brown or black hydrogen, which is obtained from fossil sources. So white hydrogen is potentially abundant untapped source of clean burning energy. So instead of people are making lot of research and they are producing from biomass or renewable energy sources, they are producing green hydrogen. Instead they can directly mine, do mining and get this white hydrogen from earth crust. It is very easy compared to all these process like using electrolyzer, which is costly. Compared to that process, this is very easy and it is renewable also. If they go on mining, they will find more white hydrogen below the earth crust. White hydrogen estimated cost is around $1 per kilogram, means 100 rupees per kilogram, which is lower than green hydrogen, and this is cheap also compared to green hydrogen, which costs about 600 rupees per kg, making it more affordable and clean energy source. White hydrogen deposits has been identified worldwide, including US, Eastern Europe, Russia, Australia, Oman, France, Mali. In all these countries, white hydrogen has been found. So they will do mining there to get the white hydrogen. The next is pink hydrogen. India is considering amending Atomic Energy Act. So pink hydrogen is produced from atomic energy, nuclear energy, will be converted into hydrogen. Then it is named as pink hydrogen. Okay, allowing private investments in nuclear sector aiming to boost nuclear capacity and promote clean energy initiatives, particularly hydrogen. Currently, Act restricts private ownership of nuclear plants, but proposed amendments would enable private companies to participate in certain activities. Right now, nuclear energy is under control of GOI. Now they want to allow private companies also into this sector, so that they want to produce the pink hydrogen. Okay, as financing, project development, equipment supply, in these spheres the private sector can also assist the government. Okay, production of pink hydrogen, which is generated through electrolysis powered by nuclear energy. So the same process, electrolysis, nuclear energy will be converted into pink hydrogen. Same electrolysis by electrolyzer will be carried out. If we use renewable sources, then it will become green hydrogen. If we use nuclear energy, it will become pink hydrogen. So a recent study has found that hydrogen gas can be produced from wood alcohol also. Okay, not from renewable sources only, but from wood alcohol also we can produce hydrogen gas. That too without releasing carbon dioxide into the environment. Instead, this process releases a chemical known as formic acid. Formic acid. This is very useful in many industrial applications. So they are producing, what they are doing? They are producing biomass or renewable energy sources by use of electrolyzer. They are producing H2 gas. Instead of doing all this process directly, they can take wood alcohol, they can convert it into H2 gas. Moreover, this process do not release any pollution into the environment. It produces one useful substance in industrial purposes, that is formic acid. Okay, this research has been conducted by IIT Guwahati. So let us see what is the article here. Existing avenues of the research. Hydrogen gas is widely considered best source of clean energy generation. This we all know. Okay, only water as a byproduct. However, conventional methods for producing hydrogen have limitations. What are the limitations? Electrolyzer cost is very high, and setting up of plant takes 3 years. All these problems they. Instead, directly they can take wood alcohol, they can convert into H2 gas. At present, hydrogen gas is generated through either electrochemical division of water or from chemicals obtained from biomass like alcohol. So, hydrogen gas can also be generated through electrochemical division of water, means H2O using electrolysis, H2 plus O2, means water they are taking, they are converting into gas, or chemicals obtained from biomass like alcohol. So alcohol is produced by yeast. Okay, it is a biomass thing only. So from biomass thing like alcohol also they can produce gas. That is the research. Methanol reforming is the process producing hydrogen from methyl alcohol, but it has two problems: high temperature and co-production of carbon dioxide. So they can even use, instead of wood alcohol, they can use methanol alcohol also. But what happened? This requires a high temperature and it releases a lot of pollution into the environment. That is the issue. That's why instead of methanol alcohol, they are using wood alcohol as a source of hydrogen gas. The newly developed catalyst opened up new avenues for developing hydrogen methanol economy. So there is a chance now that people can produce hydrogen gas without limitations. They can give hydrogen methanol economy. The method produces formic acid, a valuable industrial chemical that can be used in various applications. It is an industrial substance used in various applications. Methanol is promising carrier of liquid organic hydrogen, LHOC, which could be a game changer in quest for substantial renewable energy. Here, methanol is a source of liquid organic hydrogen. Methanol is the best source for liquid organic hydrogen that is used in various industrial applications as a clean and sustainable energy. So, here one more catalyst is used, that is pincer. Pencil, like that, pincer, you can remember. The pincer catalyst used in this research contain central metal and few specific organic ligands. Okay, it has unique feature of, means in this process they use a catalyst. What is a catalyst? It helps the chemical reaction without directly participating in it. So they use a catalyst that is named pincer. It is containing certain metal and few organic ligands. It has unique feature of breaking wood alcohol into hydrogen without producing carbon dioxide. Instead, it generates formic acid. So what is the advantage of this new method? Instead of taking biomass or other renewable energy sources and converting them into hydrogen, they can directly take some wood alcohol and they can directly make the hydrogen without any limitations, without problems. Means electrolyzer is very costly, cost of setting up of biogas plant is high, so they can avoid all the limitations in this process. Okay, one of the significant advantages of this new method of producing hydrogen is that it requires temperature of only 100 degrees Celsius. It do not require very high temperature environment also, which is significantly lower than conventional methods. Okay, the catalyst can be reused by loading on it inert support, which is a cost effective and eco-friendly. Even the wood alcohol used can be reused several times. That is the benefit. There is one more process to produce hydrogen directly from methanol. Okay, hydrogen from water and methane required energy intensive processes. So hydrogen from water and methane require energy intensive process. However, a new and promising method has been developed to produce hydrogen through catalytic reaction with methanol. So there is a new way of producing hydrogen directly from methanol. Okay, this groundbreaking research conducted by scientists from Indian Institute of Science Education Research, Tirupati, making significant study in realm of sustainable energy production. So what is catalytic reaction here with methanol? It involves innovative method utilizing commercially available ruthenium complex as a catalyst under mild conditions. Means to produce methanol from H2, they use ruthenium complex as a catalyst here. Okay, the use of methanol as a hydrogen source is especially noteworthy due to its gravimetric hydrogen content of 12.6%. Methanol contains around 12.6% of hydrogen, means it can produce huge quantity of hydrogen in this process with the help of ruthenium complex as a catalyst. Okay, moreover, methanol proves efficient in converting H2 and CO2 as final products, making it potential source for transfer of hydrogenation and C1 chemistry. So it can even give H2 plus CO2. Okay, it making as a potential source for hydrogenation and C1 chemistry. So about hydrogen, we are discussing since many slides hydrogen as a carrier in synthetic organic chemistry. Methanol signifies hydrogen carrier should not be overlooked. It presents practical solution in synthetic organic chemistry where storing, transporting free hydrogen can be challenging. So even though hydrogen is being produced by this process, but its storage and transporting from one place to another place is very challenging, because gas saving, save and transport is a big issue. So by serving as a hydrogen carrier, methanol simplifies handling of hydrogen, thereby enhancing transfer of hydrogenation and C1 chemistry. But methanol simplifies this process of storage and transport of hydrogen. Okay. So application in industrial synthesis. The impact of this research extends beyond the laboratory, offers a viable approach for industrial synthesis. Means the hydrogen liberated from methanol feedstock can be effectively employed in synthesis of valuable chemicals and pharmaceuticals. So whatever the hydrogen is there that is produced from methanol, that can be used as a method of process for very valuable chemicals and pharmaceuticals. This opens up new avenues for sustainable and affordable chemical production, contributing to greener and more economically viable future. Means in pharmaceuticals also they are using green hydrogen, means sustainably as a clean energy they are producing the byproduct.